Music Scene Investigation is on the air. Rich Wildman here, everyone. Glad to see you with us today. If things look a little bit odd, it's because I've got a window open, and you can actually see out the window on this side. It's amazing what happens when you pull the curtains back. Who'd have knew? I certainly didn't. You know, it was just one of those things that happened. Anyway, glad you're with us today. If you missed everything last week, well, you're in luck. We're going to do something similar today, except the music will be different and our guest will be different as well. On Music Scene Investigation, we ask that indie artists from around the world submit their music for our panelist of experts to listen to one time without knowing the name of the song, the genre of the song, or even the artist, and then offer up their critique and review of that music after hearing it that one time. It's usually a great thing for artists in that their reviews are often technical in nature, which is always interesting to hear. We like to call it reviews you can use, and we like to thank Walter with Indie Music Bus for that moniker. I think he's the one who thought of that, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, after they critique their music, they'll select one of those songs as our Song of the Week, which will then go on into our hit list competition, which we hold every second Wednesday of the month. So it's really a good time. If you're an indie artist out there, you should submit your music. If you're a fan of indie music, you probably hear something you've never heard before here as well. So we like to do that as well. All right, let's meet our panelists for the broadcast today. As always, our in-house panelists are here with us. Mr. Mark Lamdansky is down in Hollywood. I'm going to say it's Hollywood. You can tell us it's Florida if you want, Mark, or just let the fantasy continue.
Yes, I will. First of all, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay.
For some reason, I thought I turned down my mic. I don't know why. Yes, I'll let the guests figure out which Hollywood I'm in. I'll look out the window. I don't see any smog or traffic, so I think that narrows it down.
I'm going to call you Tom from now on. I've got Tom Chianti up there, so I'll just call you Tom.
Okay. All right. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be here again today.
Things going all well in Florida there for you, Mark?
Well, yeah, it's hot. It's humid. It's no rain in sight. Sorry, Ian. But you're welcome here anytime, by the way, Ian.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Whack the air ticket in the post and I'll be there.
All right, cool. Check on the way. Carol is actually sending it. I should actually give her a shout out. Miss 479-858-1318 is out there in the chat room. So shout out to her.
Such a catchy name. I love it.
I know, isn't it? Maybe we can call her 18 for short.
Yeah,
she'd like that.
Just call her 318.
Okay, 318. Anyway, thanks for having me again, Rich.
So, Mark, real quick before I go over to Ian and our guest panelist, I want to touch base with you about something you guys have got going on. Of course, you got Twitter Tuesday Live. You've changed it from 2 hours to 1 hour. Tell me a little bit about that. How's it going? How is the new time working out for you and everything?
Well, it's crazy. It's got its good side. It's got its bad side. We did it to make Twitter Tuesday Live more syndication friendly. So hopefully, more stations will pick us up and play us. That was the main reason behind it. The other reason was because Carol kept bitching how much work she had to do. So we cut it down to an hour. It actually makes it a whole lot easier on Carol, which I'm glad to do because she does work her ass off for the station. But the downside is we have to spend a whole lot less time with our guests. Previously we would have 2 hours to sit and chat with them and talk about all kinds of stuff about them, about where they live, their favorite foods, and we got to play a lot of other music on the show. Now we focus strictly on the guests, play only their 3 songs of the night, and by the time that hour is over, we're like, where the heck has the time gone? And I kind of almost feel like I'm cheating the guest out of valuable podcast time, show time.
I don't think you are. I think it's actually great format for the guest as well because you focus on them more. You're not playing other artists' music. You're focusing on your guest, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah, well, good, and I think many people agree. It took a while for especially our regular audience to get used to. Especially Darlene. So, but it's good. We're going to keep it that way. And we're going to start, now that I think we've got it down to a science, we've got everything worked out, all the kinks worked out, we're going to start trying to push it to other stations and see if they'll carry us.
All right. Well, good luck to you. Now we go over to London, England, and Mr. Ian Husbands. Ian, how are you, sir?
Oh, hello. I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
I'm glad.
Good.
You're not dead yet.
I'm not dead yet, as my T-shirt quite rightfully states. In honour of Monty Python.
Well, of course. Why not?
Or Minty Pooh Stain.
Yeah. Now, how have things been going with you since we last talked to you last weekend?
Yeah, lots on. Busy. I would like to give a shout out to Mr. Andy Bradley. I hope he's listening tonight because he's the guitarist in my covers band. And that occasionally does the jam night with me and is also my writing partner on the album that we're working on. And he also likes to do kickboxing.
So he's a perfect cajon player then, is what you're saying.
Not anymore, because he went sparring today and dislocated 2 fingers.
Ouch.
Which for a guitarist is not very funny.
No, not funny at all.
I must admit I did laugh a little bit. But thought I'd give Andy a quick shout out.
You are a cruel man.
Call him a plonker.
You are a cruel man. Ian, how are the witness statements from last week when we had Uncle Russ and or Ukulele Russ, I guess, James Ethan Clark and Mark Bouts on the broadcast? Of course, Mark Bouts' song, Something to Talk About, was our song of the week. The witness statements reflect everything that the panelists did last week?
Again, an easy one. Everyone agreed with us. Fantastic.
That's always good to hear. I'm glad that everyone agreed. And, of course, it's good that you're not dead yet.
It is good that I'm not dead yet. I mean, the shortest blues song in the world.
Go ahead.
I didn't wake up this morning.
That would be it. Or the truck was the last thing I saw. I don't know. I'm just making this stuff up. Our guest panelist is here from Red Dragon Records as well. And this guy we've gotten to know fairly well over the years. He's joined us a number of times on Music Scene Investigations. One of the busiest people I think I know. He's always doing something. It is Mr. Tom Oswald. Tom, how are you, sir? Glad you're with us again.
I've just found the chat room, so I'm quite chuffed with myself.
Well, it's good to see you back with us on the broadcast. Things been going well for you. I know you bought a boatload of lighters, I hear.
Yes, yeah, just merchandise for the bands.
That's always a good thing. Always a good thing. So what's keeping you busy these days?
Well, we've got a big TV advertising campaign going to 170 million homes on the 22nd of May. So getting everything ready for that's been interesting. Got a new website coming out in the next couple of days as well for the label, and a couple of new websites for all the bands, and there's just stuff you get involved in rather heavily very quickly.
You definitely keep busy. There is no doubt about that. Now, I know that Red Dragon Records handles a lot of music and artists. And I think one of the things we talked about last time you were on was, and I don't know how this is going. We probably should have talked about this in the pre-show rather than going into it live on the broadcast. But I wonder, one of the things we talked about was your push into the third world in opening up them to the ways of finding and purchasing music. How have things been going in that regard?
Well, fortunately, the person we got to do the website for us didn't succeed in making the website, so we're back to square one at that at the moment and dragging him through court to get our money back.
Oh, goodness. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, and I think it's a wise thing to at least keep them honest on that, and you definitely want to get your money's worth out of any development project you do.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
So you're going to be, I assume, moving forward with that project, by all means anyway.
Oh, certainly, yes. I mean, there's a huge market out there. 300 million people that are desperate to sell their music through me.
Yeah, and I know we talked about it, and we think it's a great idea. Obviously, there's a big part of the world who's not, who doesn't have the same opportunities as what we do in the UK and the United States in regards to being able to get music that they like or find music and artists that they enjoy.
Yes, and the fact that they have virtually no banking system whatsoever or any access to any banking systems because of all the corruption over there. Even if you did have, because you can use iTunes out there, but you obviously don't have a credit card or debit card or PayPal account to access iTunes with. So unless you're in a South African city or something, or a major city, then you can't even buy it, even if you can access it.
That makes perfect sense.
Or put your music up, because obviously you have to pay to do that as well.
Yeah, and it's hard for an indie artist in some cases to get their music listed in iTunes or some of those other venues out there as well.
I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. I mean, if you pay the right money, then you can get your music up on iTunes pretty easily. It's just having the ability to being able to put the money forward to put it up, even if it's only £30 or £40. I mean, that's like a month's wages out there for most people.
Exactly. That's not a good thing in developing areas of the world.
No.
So let's talk about the ventures you're into. Now, I know of, and on your lower third, I have listed Red Dragon Records. That's not the only pie you have your thumb in, right?
No, I've got quite a few pies in my thumbs. Quite a few thumbs in pies at the moment, or fingers in pies actually. We've got a big project going forward in the pub industry and the unlicensed industry. And we have a huge installation going ahead this Thursday, in fact. And I'm involved in various other ventures as well, which I keep forgetting what they are, which isn't necessarily a good thing.
Well, any guy who's as busy as what you are, I mean, you're allowed to forget things every once in a while. Ian tells me that all the time.
I'm surprised you remembered, Rich, to be honest.
I have it written down on a card in front of me, honestly, Ian.
Tom, we've been chatting about a few bits and pieces. You've got a venue which you're starting up, haven't you?
We were, but it fell through, unfortunately.
I was going to come and play and everything.
Yeah, no, it fell through for various different reasons. But we're looking at taking it on again in 3 to 6 months' time once all the legal issues have been resolved.
I'll reschedule my gig then.
Yeah, basically.
Fantastic.
All right, well, rescheduling gigs is not a problem for Ian. However, rescheduling our broadcast is a problem. So, gentlemen, what I would like to do is, if we can right now, I would like to play some music for you and get your thoughts on it here on the show. So, without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and get into this with song number 1 on today's broadcast. So here it is, everybody. This is the first song on today's Music Scene Investigation. Enjoy.
Dear to the world, there's no one
That is song number 1 on Music Scene Investigation today. I'll go over to Ian first. We'll start the reviews from there. Ian, what do you think about the first track of the day?
All right, pretty good start. Great arrangement. Love the arrangement to start with. It was nice to see a song with some movement in and out of different parts. I felt the transition from the verse to the chorus was a little bit weak, and that chorus could have been a bit stronger and a bit hookier. There were some BVs scattered throughout the track, but more use of his voice to layer up some vocals into that sort of chorus part would have helped it a lot better, I think. Guitar panning was a bit of a nuisance from my point of view. You know, it worked. The guitars sounded good. They were a bit toppy for my liking. I like to hear a bit more of a warmer tone to them. But stereo, working stereo, split them up, one each side, and then bring the others in at a slightly different pan, and that would work a lot better to my ears. It sounded a bit unbalanced with the way it is at the moment. This possibly is a live take or something like that, and if it is a live take, it's been very, very well done. But it needs some more love and attention on that mix and in the production. Just getting the sounds right. I said the guitar sounded a bit brittle. The drums sounded really toppy. I wanted to hear that snare a lot rounder and a lot fuller, rather than snappy like that as it was. It just didn't sit for this. This sort of song's got that sort of grunge overtone, sort of, the sort of post-grunge bands like Puddle of Mudd and people like that. And, don't be afraid to go and reference tracks like that and listen to the bands that you're sort of not emulating, but, the sort of style that you're in. And listen to what they're doing on their mixes. And, they do it for a reason, and they've got top producers working with them. The lead stuff was cool. I like the twin lead stuff, a bit of a heart back to Iron Maiden and stuff like that for me. As I said, the riffs, the performances, they were all pretty good. Did feel the vocalist was straining in places. Pushing into that chorus where he lifted it up a little bit. It did feel like his voice was slightly cracking under the pressure. Again, it could just be another take when he's a bit more warmed up, or less takes if he's sort of done a lot of takes to get this track down. But otherwise, I think the bass as well. That was the other thing. The bass, there's some good stuff going on, and then there's some stuff I couldn't really hear. The mix was very inconsistent. In places where that chorus kicked in, the guitars were just swamping out that bass. Yet coming back down to that sort of middle eight, the bass was sitting really nicely and he was grooving lovely, but I couldn't hear it on the choruses. So you need to sort of watch those guitars overcrowding that bass as well.
All right, Ian, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Over to Mr. Mark Lamdansky from Worldwide Indie Radio. Mark, song number 1 to you, sir.
Well, I'll tell you, overall, I thought it was a pretty good song. It certainly has some potential to it. The thing that stuck out in my head the most, and because it was in my head the most, was that guitar that was panned to the right for the majority of the song. I think there had to be some point within that song where that just kind of went to the middle. It just became annoying after a while to me, like a fly buzzing around on that side of my head that I couldn't get rid of. Once it transitioned into that ending section there, it was much better. It was felt much better to me. I was more comfortable with the way the guitars were going. I thought the guitar work was fantastic. Guitar solo was really good. Yeah, in regards to the singer's voice, I agree with Ian. He sounded a bit strained. Needed something, maybe additional vocals in the background, maybe some reverb on his voice or something. It sounded too plain to me. Overall, I think with a few modifications to the song, it's something that I would consider adding to the rotation at our station. But overall, good job.
All right, Mark, I appreciate that. Thank you as well. Over to Mr. Tom Oswald with Red Dragon Records. Tom, of course, you're not as ugly as what our Tom is. You're much better looking. So I'm going to give you the floor right now. What do you have to say about track number 1?
As soon as it came out, one of my speakers I'd pretty much turned off. Because that would drive people nuts if you played it on a radio in your car or anything like that. But it's background music. I mean, it's certainly it's tolerable. It's something I could listen to, but I didn't think it was anything particularly special, and it would seem to be quite repetitive as well.
All right, well, fair enough. Makes sense. I appreciate that as well. Let me introduce that track to everybody. The name of that song is called No Surprise, and that is by a group called Kadooge, and we appreciate their sending that track into Music Scene Investigation. Again, that's Kadooge with No Surprise. If you'd like your music on Music Scene Investigation in front of our panel, go to musicsceneinvestigation.com. At the top of the page, there is a Submit a Song link right there.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's all right, Mark. What were you going to say?
I just wanted to say I really like the name of the band. I think it's a cool name.
It is an interesting name. I'd never heard that before, so very cool. All right, track number 2 up right now on today's broadcast. Here it is, everyone. This is track number 2 on today's MSI.
I've been waiting on the world to change. Feels like I'm never gonna see that day. I'm so distracted by the little things holding me down, but I feel okay. 'Cause I've been searching for a million ways to kill these dead-end jobs and shine. It's time to let the music play and bring this dead shit back to mind. In little tiny small things. I've been waiting on the world to change. Feels like I'm never gonna see that day. I'm so distracted by the little things holding me down, but I feel okay. 'Cause I've been searching for a million ways to kill these dead-end jobs and shine. It's time to let the music play and bring this dead shit back to mind. In little tiny small things.
is song number 2 on today's MSI. And we'll go to our panel now and find out what they thought. We're going to start with Mark this time around. Mark, track 2 over to you right now. What do you think?
You know, it's gonna be short and simple because I didn't have a whole lot to complain about. There was only one thing that I was kind of concerned with on this, but musically, I enjoyed it. I mean, you know, for the genre, it's pretty obvious that's what you're gonna get, and you know, I was tapping my foot. It's a good dance tune. I can certainly see, you know, my wife and my daughter enjoying a song like this and downstairs having a party. You know. It's I enjoyed it. The only thing was I gotta admit, and some people liked his voice, according to what I heard in the chat room. The singer's voice at the beginning, at least to me, I don't know, it didn't fit to me. I think it got better as he went into the higher notes. His voice sounded better to me. My opinion, it just didn't seem to fit the genre. Or maybe it was, I don't know. Maybe he was just a little off. I'm not quite sure what it was, but still overall, good tune and very groovin'. Groovin'? All right.
I think that's a word still, Mark.
Okay. Yeah, well, but, you know, is it still a word today?
Yeah, you resurrected it from the 60s. That's all right, though.
It was
grooving on a sunny afternoon.
It was righteous, dude.
All right. All right, Mark, thank you. Over to Mr. Tom Oswald from Red Dragon Records. Tom, what do you think of track number 2? I can't hear Tom for some reason. Go ahead, Tom. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me now?
I can, yes, sir.
That's quite a difficult one, actually, because, I mean, I used to like that sort of music. Well, I still like that sort of music, but I used to love it back in the 90s. But I'd be quite irritated with the band for submitting something like that to this particular radio station because I don't think it fits in your genre or genres that you cover generally. And I don't really know what else to say about it. I mean, it's not something that I've been involved in professionally ever.
All right. So, yeah. All right, fair enough. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. And we'll go over to Ian, find out what he thought. Ian, what do you think?
As you may be surprised to hear, I don't do dance music. I don't do clubbing and stuff like that.
I would never have thought of that.
But music is music from my point of view. And, you know, to start with, there's quite a good mix going on here. You know, nice to feel them drums pumping, that kick sort of really keeping the time. As Mark said, there's a groove going on. And, you know, that's what dance music should be about. It should be maintaining a groove that people rhythmically want to keep in with. Felt that the use of sounds was very cliche. You know, it could have been one of many dance tracks in my mind. There was nothing really sort of sonically to pull it out and make it anything new that hasn't been done before, especially with that little sort of hook that came, that little sort of melodic hook that came in at about 340. It's been done so many times before that, you know, you're edging you're bordering on the edge of copyright problems there in my mind. The guy's vocal, I did like his voice. I agree with Mark. He did seem to get better as he went on. So that's really down to the producer, whoever's producing the vocals, to get those consistently good takes out of the singer. But what's with all the glitching, man? You know, just because you got a filter doesn't mean you have to use it. And it was all over the bass, and it was all over the vocals, and it was everywhere. And, you know, yes, this whole sort of dubstep thing that's coming in on dance music and that now is cool. I don't mind a bit of it. But this was just, it seemed to be for the sake of it. It didn't seem to be any rhythmic or musical purpose, except of I've got a filter and I'm going to make it work. And no, not my bag from that point of view. The guy can sing. Let me hear his voice. Don't keep mucking it up. I think this is a problem we come back to a lot on MSI with people overuse of auto-tune and you know, big heavy reverbs and stuff like that. And it's the same with anything. You know, the other thing I felt that really kept happening is you could take that vocal part and develop into more of a hook and use it a bit more often. You know, I think he came in 2 or 3 times at the max, and that track was quite long, over the sort of 4.5 minutes. You know, use it a bit more, give people's ears something to grab onto, and to sing along to when they're sort of bopping along in the clubs off their nuts on whatever they're taking. You know, I think it's cool, but, you know, it needs some work and you know, change your sonic palette, drop all that glitching, and develop that vocal part into a hook, and you've got a much better dance track.
All right, Ian, thank you very much as well. And do want to let everybody know the name of this song along with the artist. It's called Little Tiny Small Things. That's by Marqa. Marqa with Little Tiny Small Things on Music Scene Investigation. Now, I will tell you, gentlemen, this was the radio edit of that song. I don't know if that means that the original track is much longer. Or not. I have no idea what that means in this case. In most cases, it means they edit it for language. I don't think that was the case in this song, though.
No, not at all. It sounded like a filter or something like that was just glitching and the vocals as an effect. I didn't hear, you know, normally words like that jump out to me on that show because obviously we shouldn't have them on there. And I didn't hear any obscenities that needed bleeping or scratching out or anything like that. It just felt like an effect for the sake of it.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. And let's go ahead and get you prepped for the third song on the broadcast today. Here it is, everyone. This is song number 3 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Everybody enjoy it.
These men come down here from New York and from Florida to find out my reasons of rock and roll music and why I preach against it, and I believe with all of my heart that it is a contributing factor to our juvenile delinquency of today.
There is a ghost out in the street. I saw my best friends watching me crying. This is your curse left unto me. Abuse and relax, forget how to speak. I'm not gone, oh, I'm not gone. I'm not gone, but I'm growing stronger. I'm not gone, I'm not gone. I'm not gone. Assemblies of chaos held within me. I forgot so much while I was thinking. All of my words will fall asleep when they do wake them, and you'll wake me. I'm not gone, oh, I'm not gone. I'm not gone, but I'm growing stronger. I'm not gone, I'm not gone.
There you have it, track number 3 on today's music scene investigation. Let's go over and start this round with Mr. Tom Oswald over at Red Dragon Records. Tom, track number 3 over to you, sir. What do you think?
I really like that track. In fact, we've got a spare slot on our next Renaissance album if he wants to be on it. That is that's a driving track. You could put that into, you could get a good publishing deal with that in some sort of movie. I can imagine people driving down the motorway at speed or something like that. That's got potential, without a doubt.
All right. Well, good to hear. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Tom. Let's go over to Ian. You want to go first this time? You seem to have gotten upset because I didn't make you go first last time. I
normally do go second on this slot. I mean, it's nothing unusual. It's only been what we've been doing for the past 3 years, Rich.
All right, that's fine. We'll go over to Ian. What do you think of track number 3, Ian?
I really liked it. I did really like it. It's kind of like The Cure meets Alice in Chains meets Trent Reznor, which was interesting. It works. It's got that sort of really dark edge, but it's kind of it's dark and moody and angsty, and I liked that. It was good. I liked the pace as well. It wasn't sort of nice and laid back, but with attitude. And the drums sounded absolutely amazing. Really liked the drum sound. The guitar sounded good. The guy's voice I got into. I must admit, I struggled with him a little bit to start with. Then kind of got where he was coming from and thought, yeah, this is really, really good. One thing I would have liked to heard more of, sounds like it's a band. You've got the guitars, you've got your bass, you've got your drums, you've got your vocalist. And I very rarely say this because, the old joke, what has a condom and a keyboard got in common?
I can't tell you that, Ian.
You should use one, but it's often better without. But in this situation, come on. In this situation, I really do think some nice, dark, ambient synths sitting in the background of this track would have really padded it out and made it a lot bigger.
All right, makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Ian. Let's go to Mark Lamdansky, Worldwide India Radio. Mark, your thoughts on track number 3?
I am on the same page as Ian here. At the beginning of the song, I was like, "Oh, what is this?" And the vocalist came in, and you had warned us advance that some of these the songs were all over like 4 minutes. I'm like, "Oh God, 4 minutes of this." That was my first impression. And then as the song got into it, and I'm like, "Wow, this is good." It became powerful. It became deep. It became angry. And I liked it, and it began to make sense. It was a really good tune. I have I noticed the same thing Ian noticed, and I'm not surprised Ian noticed it, because Ian would notice a pin drop in the background of a song. He's got that good of a hearing when it comes to breaking down a song. But the keyboard, and I'm sorry, Ian, but I'm a fan of keyboards. I love to hear keyboard, but that was something that I don't think needed to be in this song. It didn't fit. If you went the way of the synths, like Ian has suggested, that's one thing. But otherwise, why? Why is it there? I was listening to him. I guess, is that really a keyboard that they put in that? It's a piano, or it was like, why? Other than that, cool tune. I would like to hear more from this artist.
All right, Mark, I appreciate that. Thank you. Now, Pinky out in the chat room, I'm not sure if this is a compliment or not, but he says, I felt like breaking furniture after about 3 minutes. Again, I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but it's out there anyway.
I broke a pencil.
There you go. Ian broke a pencil, so it took a lot out of you too, didn't it, Ian?
Yeah, all the lead. Took the lead out of me.
All right, gentlemen, you have the task right now, of course, though, after I introduce this track, of selecting the song of the week, but don't do it yet. I want to let everybody know who this track was. This track was by a group called Sack the City, and the name of the song is Assemblies here on Music Scene Investigation. So we appreciate Sack the City sending in that track to Music Scene Investigation. Ian?
That is an awesome band name.
All right. Well, now you have the task of selecting a song of the week. And while you're doing that, we, of course, invite our audience to go and fill out their witness statements as well. So if you would fill out your witness statements while our panelists debate their song of the week. Gentlemen, I turn it over to you.
Number 3.
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah.
That's all I've got to say, number 3.
Okay. Short and sweet to the point. Mark, Ian, what do you think?
Well, I'd like to just say that, you know, Tom's obviously has just offered this guy a place on his Renaissance album if he wants it. So I think, you know, what bigger accolade could you give it, really, from that point of view?
Good point. Very good point.
Mark?
No, so that was your vote. You're going for number 3.
No,
Yes.
no,
Right.
I was just pointing that out that Tom did
Oh,
make up.
okay. Okay. I wasn't sure if that was your official vote or not. But yeah, no, I enjoyed number 2 and I enjoyed number 3. But I you know, one of the things that Tom actually said earlier was that he could see this song in a movie, or not see it, but hear it in a movie. And I was thinking about that, and yeah, I'm right on with that. That I could see it in a transitional part in a movie, either before or after, maybe the closing credits. I don't know, but yeah, I'm going with number 3, definitely.
All right, over to Ian to break the non-existent tie.
Well, who should I be to sort of rock the boat on this one? Again, yeah, the soundtrack stuff with this track, you know, Breaking Bad, the zombie films and all that sort of stuff. You can, you know, with the sort of the cowboy walking across the desert, it's got that feel. So it's got to be number 3 for me as well. Angst all the way.
All right, well, that explains why you're wearing black. You're an angst-filled person who ain't dead yet.
It's because I'm a musician. We only wear black.
Well, that's another good point. Well, I appreciate your thoughts on that, gentlemen. And, of course, we'll look forward to seeing the witness statements next week when we bring the results to you on that. Tom Oswald, thanks so much for being here, Tom. I really appreciate you joining us. And certainly hope we can have you back again very soon.
Anytime.
And Mark, of course, thank you for being here. Ian, thank you as well. To everybody in the chat room, you know we do this every week, same time, same channel. It's at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, MusicSceneInvestigation.com. Don't forget, though, this Wednesday, we will be having our hit list broadcast. That's at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can catch that at the same place, MusicSceneInvestigation.com. Again, Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. to check that out. All right, gentlemen, certainly hope to see you all again next week. We're going to play out this week with Assemblies by Sack the City right here on Music Scene Investigation. We'll see you again next time, everybody. Thanks for being here.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
These men come down here from New York and from Florida to find out my visions of rock and roll music and why I preach against it, and I believe with all of my heart that it is a contributing factor to our juvenile delinquency of today.
There is a ghost out in the street. I saw my best friends watching me crying. This is your curse left unto me. Abuse and relax, forget how to speak. I'm not gone, oh, I'm not gone. I'm not gone, but I'm growing stronger. I'm not gone, I'm not gone. I'm not gone. Assemblies of chaos held within me. I forgot so much while I was thinking. All of my words to fall asleep. When they do wake them and you'll wake me. I'm not gone, oh, I'm not gone. I'm not gone, but I'm growing stronger. I'm not gone, oh, I'm not gone. I'm not gone. Are we insane? Are we willing? Take all of your fame and overdose. Claim all that you made, self-indulge. Take all of your fame and overdose. An empty old solids were strained. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Take all of your fame and overdose. Claim all that you made, self-indulge. Take all of your fame and overdose.
I know what it does to you. I know the evil feeling that you feel when you sing.
No, it's just all the same. I mean, as I listen, I guess it's one of it's natural. That's good, but to me, it's just.
Well, the two things are not necessarily